Take your love away from me, I'll go crazy.
Shorty get down, good lord. Baby got 'em open all over town. Strictly bitch.
Well, this song is dedicated to all the ladies in the house. All the ladies. We want everybody to stand up on your feet. Come on. Stand on the one to Blackstreet. Come on now, Blackstreet. Listen. Take your life away from me, I'll go crazy.
When No Diggity bulldozed the Macarena off the Billboard throne in October 1996, it sounded like victory music. But every beat masking Dr. Dre's cameo was also drowning out a ticking time bomb inside Blackstreet, one wired with jealousy, lawsuits, and balances that never balanced. Nearly 3 decades later, the detonation still echoes, yet TikTok teens have unexpectedly resurrected the band's slow jam catalog. How did a group sculpted by a certified hitmaker almost implode? And why can't the internet stop rewinding them now? Flashback to Harlem, 1993. Teddy Riley had already gifted Bobby Brown's swagger, polished Michael Jackson's Dangerous, and virtually invented New Jack Swing. What he lacked was a group that belonged completely to him. Enter Chauncey Black Hannibal, a smoky church-trained baritone, plus velvet-voiced Levi Little and street soul crooner Joseph Stone Street, later swapped for Chicago powerhouse Dave Hollister. The hybrid name Blackstreet married Black to Stone Street, but nobody doubted who called the shots. Riley set studio curfews, banned alcohol on site, and recut harmonies until sunrise. Perfection was the goal, compliance was the toll, but absolute control carries an invisible surcharge. The gamble paid instantly. Their 1994 debut slow jam that pushed the album platinum and lifted them from club openers to Soul Train darlings. 2 years later, No Diggity.
Shorty get down, good lord. Baby got 'em open all over town. Strictly bitch.
Armed with Dre's speaker-rattling verse and Queen Pen's carefree sass, won a Grammy and vaporized genre lines. Suddenly, Blackstreet were earning $85,000 a night, flying private and rehearsing moves that made MTV jams look lazy. But the pace was suffocating. 16-hour rehearsals, morning radio at 6 a.m., club walkthroughs at 1 a.m., sleep became a rumor, and exhaustion is fertile soil for resentment. Inside that pressure cooker, Riley's perfectionism blurred into gatekeeping. Hollister wrote a mid-tempo groove called Doubt It, yet when labels begged to release it as a single, Riley refused. He hadn't produced it. According to Hollister, even a film soundtrack opportunity was blocked until Teddy remixed the track to stamp his sonic watermark. At the same time, Hollister's outside production offers piled up, money Riley believed should funnel through the Blackstreet brand. Tension reached a boil on a marathon bus ride when pay splits surfaced. Hollister and Hannibal nearly came to blows over taking food out of my kids' mouths. When loyalty and livelihood collide, somebody grabs the exit sign. Hollister bolted in 1998 to feed his family, literally. Mark Middleton parachuted in, then Eric Williams, then Terrell Phillips. Fans buying tour tickets began to wonder which version of Blackstreet they'd actually see. Meanwhile, Riley's perfectionist brand fractured into 2 public personas, the genius and the dictator. The media devoured every lineup change as proof that the king of New Jack Swing couldn't share the throne he'd gilded. And the next battle left the studio for the courthouse. In 2003, Riley discovered Chauncey Hannibal had quietly renewed the Blackstreet trademark in his own name. Court filings allege Hannibal then offered to add Riley back for a $90,000 administrative fee. Riley paid. Hannibal allegedly pocketed the cash and kept sole control. Lawsuits and countersuits turned the name Blackstreet into a hostage. Promoters froze deposits, festival slots vanished, and streaming royalties sat in escrow until a judge could decipher decades-old handshake deals. Every missed booking equaled 5-figure losses. Every legal brief burned what was left of the friendship. Legal fees sting, but unpaid taxes cut deeper. By 2002, Riley's spending, mansions in Virginia, studio build-outs, entourage payroll, collided with a 7-figure IRS bill. He filed Chapter 7. His 14-bath estate hit auction for pennies on the invested dollar. Hannibal grappled with separate debts. Other alumni learned that platinum plaques don't block foreclosure notices. The cautionary headline, "Chart success without financial literacy is just a louder crash." Yet music history loves a comeback track. Time, lawyers, and empty bank accounts eventually softened egos. Riley and Hannibal agreed to co-build tours again, beginning with 2011's New Jack King's run. 11 U.S. cities sold out that summer. Promoters discovered millennials would happily pay babysitters to scream, "I like the way you work it all over again. Fast forward to 2024, Songkick lists Blackstreet on Chicago's Airy Crown Theater marquee and California's Thunder Valley Arena, both dates selling VIP meet and greets in under 48 hours. The once combustible brothers now shake hands on stage before I Let You Go, reminding audiences what forgiveness sounds like in four-part harmony. But it's Gen Z, armed with nothing but smartphones, that delivers the plot twist. September 2024, a 15-second clip of a skateboarder crash landing to the plea, "Don't leave me, girl," racks up 3 million loops in 2 days. The algorithm sniffs a trend. Soon the Blackstreet Challenge logs 60,000 uploads. Billboard's TikTok Top 50, where drill rappers and sped-up remixes usually reign, debuts Blackstreet's 1997 ballad Don't Leave Me at number 48. It's the band's first new chart since 1999, courtesy of users who hadn't been born when Teddy laid the track. Spotify plays triple. Pandora adds a 90s R&B comeback channel. For a group once torn apart by royalty scraps, algorithmic pennies now add up to real dollars. And the renewed spotlight forces a final reckoning with legacy. Listen to Bruno Mars's Finesse, Anderson.Paak's Retro Come Down, or even Justin Timberlake's early 2000s solo pivots. The fingerprints trace back to Blackstreet's funk-slick DNA. Riley now consults for K-pop producers, selling that swing to a generation fluent in both New Jack and New Jeans. Hollister alternates gospel tours with Blackstreet reunions, his voice weathered but resolute. Hannibal mentors indie R&B acts in Carolina studios, teaching them to trademark early and audit always. Their combined net worths, Riley and Hollister hovering near $3 million, Hannibal a leaner but steady $1 million, suggest redemption isn't just spiritual. Blackstreet's journey reads like a cautionary screenplay. Genius creation, meteoric rise, ego implosion, legal trench warfare, and an algorithmic renaissance nobody planned. Yet underneath the chaos lives a quieter truth. Once a hook burrows into collective memory, not even bankruptcy, trademark drama, or decades of silence can mute it. That's why your little cousin is lip-syncing Don't Leave Me on a screen Riley never imagined, and why grown-up fans will still pay to shout No Diggity with four men whose hairlines and priorities have both receded. The music industry will keep changing platforms, but the invoice for ego and poor planning never changes. Pay it or watch it collect interest while the world keeps dancing. In Blackstreet's case, they paid, they learned, and now they're cashing a second chance soundtrack they wrote 30 years ago. The beat goes on, and it's still irresistible.